There are winter nights so painfully quiet that even the wind seems to whisper secrets, and on one of those nights, in a tiny, flickering lit apartment on the snowy edge of the city, an 8-year-old girl pressed the tip of her pencil to a sheet of paper with such determination that it felt as if her entire world depended on it. Her breath hitched, her small fingers trembled, her heart pounded like a desperate drum begging to be heard. Outside, snow curled through the air like feathers, but inside, the ache in the room was heavy enough to feel. The girl wrote the words she had whispered to the dark so many nights before, the words she wished someone, anyone, would hear. And the moment her final sentence dried on the paper, the string of fate tugged sharply, connecting her fragile hope to a man who didn't yet know he was about to have his entire life rewritten by a child he had never met. If you believe in kindness, hope, second chances, and the magic of ordinary people changing each other's lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Whispers of Kindness. Your support helps these stories reach more hearts. The city looked beautiful that December, glowing with gold lights and drifting flakes, but Mia's world was far from beautiful. Her mother, once warm and bright, now worked nights at a warehouse, her body exhausted and her spirit thinning under the weight of bills that only grew larger. Their cupboards were often near empty, their coats were too thin for the cold, and Mia had never known the warmth of a father's arms. All she had were faint stories, tiny pieces her mother spoke about when she was too tired to guard her vulnerability. A kind smile, a quiet laugh, hands that once held her when she was a newborn. Then life took him away in a sudden illness, leaving both mother and daughter stranded in grief. Mia didn't remember her father, but she felt the emptiness every time she saw other children walking between two parents at school events or holiday celebrations. Every December, she stared at the other kids' beaming faces, their fathers lifting them up to place stars on tall Christmas trees, their mothers adjusting scarves with soft laughter. The ache of not having that became unbearable, and it bloomed into the letter she wrote to Santa that night. Her letter was simple, written in shaky handwriting on a wrinkled piece of notebook paper. She didn't ask for toys or candy or anything glittery. She asked for something children her age should never have to beg for. She asked for someone who would care, someone who would stay, someone who would protect her mother from breaking under the weight of life. She wished, in the purest way, for a dad. She folded the letter gently in her small hands and placed it in the mailbox outside their building, believing, with fragile faith, that magic might reach her, even if she didn't know how. Across the city, inside a towering skyscraper wrapped in glass and steel, billionaire Ethan Hale sat alone in his office, staring at the city lights like someone searching the horizon for something he lost long ago. He had everything money could buy, but loneliness had carved him hollow after losing his wife 3 years earlier. He had a son, 6-year-old Leo, who was the only reason Ethan still woke up every morning, but grief had turned him distant, fearful of loving too deeply again, afraid that life could steal joy as quickly as it had given it. So he buried himself in work, surrounding himself with silence, success, and polished emptiness. That winter night, his assistant dropped a stack of mail onto his desk, charity requests, holiday invitations, partnership proposals. But one envelope didn't belong there. It was small, crookedly sealed, the name, Santa, written in childish letters besides a little drawing of a snowman. Curiosity nudged Ethan to open it, and the moment his eyes landed on the first line, something in him cracked open. A little girl's plea, a little girl asking not for presents, but for the love he feared he had already lost. He read the letter again and again, feeling the sincerity in every word, the bravery it took for a child to write a wish so raw. And then he saw the final line, an address written with mismatched numbers and uneven strokes. His heart twisted. The letter wasn't meant for him. But maybe it was meant for someone who could help. The next morning, Ethan found himself standing outside a worn building in a neighborhood he hadn't visited since he was young. The cold bit through his coat, but he hardly noticed. He had brought nothing but the letter and a heart full of questions. When Mia's mother opened the door, surprise washed across her tired features. Ethan introduced himself gently, explaining how he had received the letter by mistake. Embarrassment rushed over her, followed by apology after apology, but he reassured her with calm kindness. He wasn't there to judge, he was there because something about the girl's wish had reached a part of him he thought was frozen. Inside their tiny apartment, he saw modest furniture, cracked walls, and a small kitchen with barely anything inside it. Mia peeked at him from behind the hallway doorway, clutching a worn stuffed bear. Her eyes were wide, not fearful, but hopeful in a way that sank deep into Ethan's chest. "Leo," meanwhile, was waiting in the car downstairs, but Ethan already knew he wanted their worlds to meet. He left that day with more weight in his heart than when he arrived, but it was a good weight, the weight of caring about something again.